The rain came down in thin, icy sheets as Captain Amara Lewis stood under the airport awning, suitcase in hand, uniform perfectly pressed, and heart pounding in her chest. She had flown through storms, handled emergency landings, and earned every one of her stripes, but nothing had prepared her for the humiliation that was about to unfold. She smiled politely as she approached the staff entrance of Zenith Airways, one of the biggest regional airlines on the East Coast. She was early for her flight plan memorized, ready to command her cockpit with the calm authority she'd spent years cultivating. But before she could step inside, a woman in a crisp navy jacket blocked her path. "Excuse me," the woman said sharply, without even glancing at Amara's ID badge. "This entrance is for crew only. Passengers wait outside." Amara blinked, stunned. She touched the badge clipped to her uniform, the one that clearly read Captain Amara Lewis. "I'm crew," she said carefully, holding up her credentials. The woman gave her a once-over, a quick, dismissive look. "Right. Wait outside," she said again, waving Amara off like a nuisance. Around her, other pilots, white, male, strode past without so much as a second glance. No one else was stopped. No one else was questioned. Amara stood there, feeling the heat of humiliation creep up her neck. She could have argued. Could have made a scene. Instead, she wheeled her suitcase away, her heels clicking sharply against the wet pavement, heart hammering with a rage she kept buried under layers of professionalism. It wasn't the first time something like this had happened. She had fought for every promotion, endured every side comment, every doubting glance. But this being told to wait outside like she didn't belong was a slap she couldn't ignore. Minutes later, the captain scheduled to fly the same plane fell sick. Dispatch scrambled. Panic rippled through the terminal. Passengers waited. Flights were delayed. Zenith Airways needed a captain, and fast. Amara stood quietly near the entrance, watching the chaos unfold. She waited. She waited until the very staff member who had dismissed her earlier frantically paged any available senior pilot to the gate immediately. With steady steps, Amara approached, showed her badge again. The woman's face drained of color. I thought you were," she stammered. "I am the captain," Amara said coolly, locking eyes with her. She could have humiliated her, made a scene right there in front of the crowded gate. Instead, she walked past without another word, boarding the aircraft, slipping into the captain's seat like she was born to be there. She ran her pre-flight checks with mechanical efficiency, ignoring the whispers outside the cockpit door. The flight took off safely, on time. Passengers never knew the storm that had raged behind the scenes. They just trusted the steady hands guiding them through the skies. But Amara wasn't done. That night, after the plane touched down, she sat in her hotel room, staring out the rain-streaked window. She pulled out her laptop and opened a file she had been building for 2 years, a file full of incidents, reports, emails, and statements. Every moment of discrimination. Every slight. Every overlooked promotion. Every time she was passed over or treated differently. She sent it all to the FAA, the DoD, and the press. She named names. She attached screenshots. She told her story not just about herself, but about the other black pilots she knew, the women, the immigrants, the ones who had been made to feel invisible. The story exploded. News stations ran it 24/7. The headline screamed, "Black pilot told to wait outside shuts down major airline operations." Passengers demanded refunds. Lawsuits piled up. Stock prices plummeted. Zenith Airways tried to issue a shallow apology, but it was too late. Their image was shattered. Their contracts were pulled. Their competitors poached their routes. Within 6 months, Zenith Airways filed for bankruptcy. Meanwhile, Amara didn't fade away. She stood in front of news cameras, unapologetic and proud. She spoke at aviation conferences. She led panels on diversity and inclusion. She launched a non-profit to mentor young minority pilots, giving them the support and community she never had. It wasn't easy. She faced threats, hateful messages, even blacklisting attempts. But for every door slammed shut, a window swung wide open. Other airlines came calling, airlines that saw her value, her leadership, her resilience. 1 year to the day after she was told to wait outside, Amara stood at a podium at a massive aviation conference. She wore a sharp navy uniform, 4 gold stripes on each shoulder, a broad smile on her face. "You cannot keep talent outside forever," she told the roaring crowd. "You can delay it. You can insult it. You can pretend not to see it. But eventually, it kicks down the door and it flies higher than you ever imagined." She looked out across the audience and saw the faces of young women, young men, people who had once thought they could never belong in a cockpit. She smiled. The rain had stopped outside. The sky was clear. And Captain Amara Lewis was just getting started.